Forward, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Ampelhon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech, who puts the Atlas.
Across several regions of Nigeria, communities continue to grapple with insurgency, banditry and kidnappings, raising fresh concerns over whether increased defense spending is truly translating into improved safety for citizens. The security crisis shows no clear signs of abating in 2026. Reports indicate that no fewer than 1,091 lives have been lost to violent attacks. Additionally, about 3.7 million Nigerians have been displaced, now scattered across nearly 3,900 camps nationwide. In recent developments, at least 23 people were killed and 108 others injured following a series of suspected suicide bombings in Maiduguri, one of the deadliest attacks in the Borno state capital in recent times. These troubling figures continue to raise a critical question: what can be done to end insecurity in Nigeria? Responding, Nigeria's Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima restated the federal government's resolve to defeat terrorism, declaring that those behind recent attacks in the country will be decisively confronted. As Voice of the People TV, we sought the opinion of Nigerians on this growing concern.
The federal government, that's one of their major role in keeping the safety of Nigerians, as in they have to be very, very, very active in keeping the safety of Nigerians, because that's one of their major priority. So, and again, as we individual, you have to be very, very vigilant. If you see someone that is not familiar with in your area or in your environment, you have to alert the security operations, because you can see if sometimes you might be in your street and you see some new strange faces around you. So when you see such thing, at least you can call the security or maybe the vigilantes in your area. So with this, we can be able to curb the insecurity in our area.
The government should step up its action against it. Especially, I believe that the government has the capacity to do that. There was a time they were talking about state police. They need to hurry up in this issue of state police to equip them effectively, because the state police are people that will be taken from the indigenes, people that are familiar with the terrain. So this kind of people can easily understand what's going on around them. They can easily arrest the situation, because it has gone to the level that the insecurity issue cannot be downplayed.
Everybody is feeling the pains here and there. The security is a major issue that I pray that our president and his men will be able to tackle, so that Nigeria be more safer. Because without insecurity, the economy cannot really move. And without insecurities, nobody can be at peace. Without insecurity, even government itself will not be at rest. So we pray that sincerely this government will have the courage to tackle the insecurity aspect. Once that is settled, I know Nigeria will be better.
As the nation continues to seek lasting solutions, many hope that decisive actions will be taken to restore peace and safeguard lives across the country. Matthew Okunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeat, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
I'm Mr. Familoni, and here's to Vop Tv. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti and you're watching Vop TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is Vop TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Maritime Frontier show on Vop Television. Today, we are presenting the program from the Office of the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Dr. Keima Pius Akuta. Sir, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother.
The Nigerian Shippers Council, of course, is the economic regulator of the maritime industry. And we need to know, the people out there need to know what their functions are generally, because a lot of Nigerians may not know, especially those who are not within the maritime sector. And so we are having a one-on-one with Dr. Akuta today, hoping that he will do justice to the program by telling us everything that has to do with the industry. Sir, once again, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Sir, we need to start from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit of the history of this council, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, Tommy. The council was set up actually in 1978. At that time, the third world nations were struggling with the dominance of the shipping lines at that time, shipping conference at that time, and they needed to have a government-controlled agency that would deal with the manipulative tendencies of the shipping lines at that time, the conference lines, which no longer exist now. And this was the decision at the continental level to set up these agencies across the countries. And Nigerian Shippers Council was birthed under a decree which is now CAP N133 LFN 2004. And at that time, the focus was just to protect the interests of shippers. So the agency was set up with the mindset that it would be an agency to protect interests of shippers across board. And that mandate has existed over the years, but it kept expanding and expanding as the need arose. And today, the Nigerian Shippers Council was appointed in 2015 as a port economic regulator of the port sector by a presidential directive, and a regulation was issued to that effect. Now, the Nigerian Shippers Council, erroneously, people still look at it as an agency that is created to look at the interests of the shippers only. But it's beyond that now. The mandate has been expanded. Being the port economic regulator makes the council at the moment an impartial arbiter that takes care of both the interests of the service providers and the service users. So we sit now in the middle and we try to balance the interests of both divides.
Yeah. One thing I take from what you just said now is that they are now sort of the impartial arbiter to, regulate the industry. And would you say over the years that the council has done, looking back, how would you rate what the council has done so far over the past years in terms of the defined objectives?
Yeah, the council has evolved, like I said, and along the way, it has also provided very meaningful services to the sector. If you talk about freight, for instance, making the freight competitive and ensuring that there is no arbitrariness in terms of freight determination, you will see that the council has done so very well over the years in trying to control the escalating rise in the freight that is being charged to shippers and the people who use the port services over the years. And you will see that even up to this moment, that it has become the Nigerian Port Economic Regulator. You will see that the council has over time dealt with issues of transparency in the sector and have contributed immensely in promoting modernization and innovation in the sector, promoting the use of technology to harness the potentials of the sector. Okay. So the council has done so much in this regard. We have also contributed in meaningful development of critical transport infrastructure like the IDPs, the border information centers, and the vehicle transit park. So the council is involved in so many things. And lately, with the creation of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, so much attention is given to the development of new areas in the marine and blue economy, and the council is advocating for that. The council is also involved in driving investment potentials in the sector in so many ways. So looking back, I can only say that the council has achieved so much, but there is so much to be achieved, especially under this new regime where attention is being given to this sector as a new driver of our economic rebirth. We have seen how the president, in his wisdom, has created this Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to diversify the economy of the country. So the council has a big role to play. In recent times, we have taken up roles as the police of the port economy. You will see how we have even saved the economy a lot of capital flight that would have happened by implementing the CBN regulations, which empower us to confirm reasonableness of charter party and fees and demurrage charges. So in the last few years alone, on that note alone, we have saved this country over 70 billion that would have been taken out of the economy as capital flight. So many things that the agency has accomplished, and I can boldly say that the agency is repositioning itself to be a major player in the marine and blue economy sector.
All right, sir. We'll come back to that particular issue you talked about in terms of we are talking about the capital flight issue. Well, you are a career lawyer. There's one very big objective of your personal or is it official objective is to see that the Nigerian Economic Regulatory Agency bill is enacted into law, which gives more power to the council. How well has it gone?
Yes, since the advent of the port concession of 2005-2006, one aspect that was missing was the appointment of a port economic regulator. Realizing this missing link, in 2015, the presidential directive appointed the council as a port economic regulator. But the nitty-gritty of what an economic regulator will do in the port sector is not contained in the presidential directive, the presidential order, and the regulations that were issued. Very scanty information there. So there is a need to have the council, transmute into that agency that is needed. But you can't do that without the instrument of a legislation. So we took it upon ourselves to put together a legislation for this purpose. And the good thing is that over the years, from 1978 to date, the decree that established the Nigerian Shippers Council has never been amended. Yes, so it has even become obsolete and is spent because the realities of today's port economic regulator of the nature that Nigeria intends to have in a sector like this, that bill or that law can no longer hold it. So we took up that bill. And the good thing is that our minister, who is providing the necessary leadership that is needed to foster collaboration, cooperation amongst agencies of the sector, took upon himself that bill and set up a meeting amongst all the stakeholders in the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. And we looked into the bill, and the clean copy that came up was forwarded to National Assembly. So this bill is actually the ministry's bill. And thank God that it was passed, and it went to the president for assent. But because of the new agency, the Nigerian Revenue Service B at that time, which was just assented to, there was a clash in one or two provisions regarding the revenue, whether it is revenue of the council or revenue of the new agency, or it is, whether it is funding of the new agency or revenue to be generated by the agency. Okay. So that's correction.
Nomenclature.
Yes, that kind of thing. Okay. So there was a confusion whether the intendment of the lawmaker was that this should be the funding for the agency or the revenue that the agency is entitled to generate for the sector. So that has been corrected. And the National Assembly has considered it, the House of Rep has considered and passed. So it is committed now to the Senate, and we are waiting their passage.
How soon do you think it will be passed?
Yeah, we are very hopeful that as soon as, in fact, it has been on the order paper for like 3 sittings. Okay. The one of 31st of March, we were very hopeful that it will be passed, but just that only the budget was considered on that day. So we are very hopeful that as soon as they resume on the 21st of this month, one of the first things they will be doing will be to pass that bill.
Okay. You mentioned something earlier, which I said we'll talk about later, about the issue of capital flight. This NPERA bill that you just talked about, is it also the issue of capital flight? Is it also a direct, was one of the issues you needed to tackle by asking that this bill be passed, because you mentioned that formerly we used to have a lot of capital flight. The foreign companies, shipping companies, take away a lot of money from the economy, far beyond what is recommended. Will that be taken care of in this new act, as in the legal framework on protecting Nigerians from having such capital flights?
Well, generally, as the port economic regulator, we monitor the economic growth. We monitor anything that will be of adverse effect on the economy is our concern.
Okay.
And when we see that this is coming from whatever angle, it is our duty to tackle it as quickly as possible. And if it is beyond us, escalate it to the ministry and to the other relevant bodies that will deal with this issue. So that will be one of the things that we as a port economic regulator, we can look at. But beyond that, what I talked about basically was a role that is assigned to the Nigerian Shippers Council by CBN under their regulation to confirm the reasonableness of this capital flight.
Okay.
So when we do the confirmation, that is what they will approve. So any company requiring to take this certain amount out of the Nigerian economy to repatriate as their profit to their parent countries, we have to write to us first to confirm if that amount was reasonable enough to be taken out. Otherwise, we recommend the right amount that should be taken up. And this process used to be a manual process, but in the last 2 years, we have automated it.
Okay.
So it's now very seamless. Once you provide your documents in the platform, you create an account for that purpose, you submit your documents, it goes direct into the system, and the system will look at it and evaluate the documents and give an amount that is reasonable enough to be taken out of the profit that the companies make. So it has helped us a lot, and it's because it is automated that the amount of savings skyrocketed in the last 2 years to what we have.
All right. So there are myriads of complaints generally about the council not acting to aid stakeholders from the so-called exploitative tendencies of the shipping companies. How do you react to these allegations, sir? That the shipping companies are exploiting Nigerians and the council is not doing enough to protect Nigerian businesses?
Well, you know, no matter what you do, there will be one complaint or the other arising from your job, particularly in public service in this country. A public servant can never do enough, no matter how you try. There will be 1 or 2 pockets of complaints coming up here and there. For 2 years that I have been the Executive Secretary, CEO of the Nigerian Shippers Council, I deliberately did not approve any tariff increment. Not because there were no requests for tariff adjustments. There were requests coming for tariff adjustment over the period. And some of these requests, we are requesting adjustment of over 200%, some up to 100, up to 150%. They were requesting for this adjustment. And if you are here in this country, you know that in the last 2 years, other sectors of the economy have adjusted their pricing regimes and tariff a number of times. But then we were looking at the overall economy as our mandate specifies. So we saw that the GDP was slow. It wasn't moving as fast as it was projected by the Minister of Budget and National Planning. We are monitoring all of that. And we saw that in the sector also, activities that had dried up in 2023 had started picking up. And we did not want any price changes that we bring about a shock in the economy that we will now start to roll back the progress that has been made so far. So we deliberately delayed making any attempt at any tariff increment. But it got to a point where we felt that we cannot continue to overburden one side of the divide because our interest is to protect both the service users and the service providers. So the service providers, we have seen that a lot has happened within the sector within the last few years. The shipping companies, for instance, in the last 2 years, an agreement that has been negotiated for over 20 years, we resolve it under the leadership of our minister. And today, I can proudly say to you that the shipping subsector of this economy has the highest minimum wage than any other sector of the economy in this country. 200,000 was negotiated as
the minimum wage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's far beyond the national average.
Yes, far beyond the national average. So this was done as a minimum standard for entry into the sector. So if all of this have been done, and the fact that we did not increase their tariff for 2 years, we decided to listen to their applications. And it was a painstaking effort we made working with them. And for the first time, the Nigerian Shippers Council has decided to look into the books of the shipping companies to see the level of investment they have put into this country. And many of them have done so well. So from 200%, 150%, 100%, we evaluated this and we gave them a part rate 30%. Okay. And they have been complaining that 30% cannot even pull them out of inflation.
Okay.
But we did that, having in mind the economic realities, not only as it pertains to businesses, but also the general economy. So we gave them a 30% increment. And we directed that before implementation, they should do well to speak with their stakeholders and come to a conclusion. And you know that these approvals are not cast in stone. These approvals are for them to go back and meet their stakeholders and determine what is agreeable and what is doable for them. And yet again, it's an upper limit within which they can also compete. Okay. Because if someone else is implementing 20%, another one is implementing 25%, another one 30%, then the one that is 30% will obviously drive his way out of the market. Sure. Because the one that is doing 20%, a lot of people will go there. But then again, it has to do with service delivery also, the quality of service delivery that any one of them is offering. So these are some of the things that Nigerians should know. And when we met 2 days ago, we met here, had a stakeholder meeting here to discuss, which I believe you were there as well, to discuss this issue. All stakeholders alike have agreed that there was a need for this increment. They agreed with us. And that was the reason why we suspended we lifted the suspension for the implementation of the tariff and directed the shipping companies to go back and hold stakeholders meeting with their stakeholders and then go ahead to implement. One thing is that people should know that as the port economic regulator, like I said, we are an impartial arbiter sitting in the middle, considering the interests of the service users and the interests of the service providers. We cannot overburden one side of the divide to the point that it collapses. If it collapses, then the whole economy will have problem. Again, we're not a shipping nation. I hope you know this very well. Sure. We depend on the services of foreign ships owners and all that. And they have a choice to remain here or to leave. So we need to have all of this at the back of our minds, that we are dealing with people who have put their investment and they are also interested in making profit on their investment. We cannot kill companies that have decided to provide services in our country.
All right, sir. How far, over the past 2 days, like you said, after the meeting, is there any attempt by the shipping companies to try to comply with the directive for them to engage the stakeholders before the increase is now effected?
Yeah, fortunately, in the last 2 days also, I've been very busy meeting with several shipping companies and terminal operators, with the board, with my governing board. So a couple of them that we visited have even signified intention to commence those deliberations. And they are also informing the Nigerian Shippers Council to attend to monitor. And you recall that at the meeting I said something, that we will not tolerate any standoff. In every negotiation, people must make, concessions. You must give and take in every negotiation to arrive at a consensus. But where people just come into negotiation and then believe that they can just stand off everything and let things just be. This is not a sector that we'll be toying with, because most of our trade activities happen within this sector. Yeah. So we cannot be toying with this sector in a manner that some of us think. What is at stake is higher than the little misunderstandings that we have. How will it warrant us to just have a standoff between one side of the divide and the other, to a point that we cannot resolve? We have to resolve all the issues. And that's why we took the bold steps in saying we have lifted our suspension. They should go ahead and talk. So I believe that they are talking already. Some of them have already done successful stakeholder engagement and have agreed. Like you heard the president of the Nigerian Shippers Association saying that they are the shippers and that they don't have problem with this tariff increment, and that, as a matter of fact, some of them have already been implementing it and they are paying. So that was one of the things that gave room for us to lift the suspension, since he was speaking on behalf of shippers, and he said they don't really have a problem with it. That the only problem is that they were not carried along. But as soon as this meeting is called, they are okay, and this can go ahead. So we believe that we are protecting the interests of everyone, not only the shippers, as the case has always been touted. We protect shippers, we protect service providers as well.
All right, sir. So I want to delve into some specific complaints as a direct fallout of some of the meetings, and as a journalist going around within the sector. Some of the complaints that we hear are that the shipping companies do not, they deliberately allow the trucks to be used as holding bays because they do not have enough space for them to accept those empty containers in order to ship them to their port of destination. So what has the council did in order to take care of this particular complaint, sir?
Yes, when we heard that complaint on that day, we already started working on it. And like I told you, for the last 2 days, we have been engaging with some of the shipping companies and terminal operators. So we took up this matter very seriously too, because that cannot be right. It's causing a lot of issues if that is the case to the economy, and we will not accept that. But when we started engaging with the companies we visited, most of them now have holding bay at Mile 2. And they claim that those holding bays are big enough to contain their cargo, and that they have directed their customers that when they are bringing those containers, they can drop them at Mile 2 to also decongest what is happening within the port area. So the council has decided that we will go around and see those container bays and see how big they are and the kind of activities going on there, so that we will be in a better position to talk about that.
Yeah, part of the issue of the holding bay, part of the concession agreement was that they should build their holding bays, but apparently there's a lot of inadequacy in terms of the number or the volume of the holding bays that they have. I hope the council is doing something about this.
Yeah, sure. What is the responsibility of the companies? We will always keep them on their toes to carry out their responsibilities, especially now that there's massive attention to this sector. And Mr. President himself has been going around seeking for more investment and is securing more investment into the sector. So we need a sector that is free from rancor. We need a sector that knows what they are doing and is fully behind the Honorable Minister to ensure that we tap into the potentials of this sector.
Okay.
So,
Okay, there's also these complaints about some multiplicity in charges, especially as mentioned on that day, issue of a telex charge. I've heard about this on so many occasions. In fact, some of the stakeholders presented some documents to buttress their point that they are charged the same thing that they paid for from the port of origin or from the country of origin. And I don't know if it's this is a novel complaint. It's a strange, a new one, but they've been saying that. I don't know what the council is saying about that. So.
yeah, so immediately we heard about those complaints. There were many of them. Many of the complaints about charges, hidden charges, multiple charges, and all that. Immediately we heard about that complaint, we swung into action to find out why. And I must say that we are working seriously to see how we can stamp that out if actually it does exist.
Okay.
So,
okay. Then this issue of container deposits, the refund, it keeps reoccurring that the shipping companies don't do enough to refund their money. They reinvest it rather than refunding the money when the containers have been returned. I don't know if it's also under consideration for that to be corrected.
Yeah, we're talking to most of the shipping lines to, discard with that. And container deposit, many of them have argued that the amount is below $100. Meanwhile, the amount that's expended for that infrastructure, which belongs to the shipping company, is a lot. So they are looking at the less than $100 deposit as being inadequate. But in law, consideration is adequate. It doesn't matter the amount.
Okay.
So if that is what they have fixed, then so be it. But like I said earlier on, some of the companies have already jettisoned the issue of container deposit, like CMS, CGM. They have done that since over a year ago. They have written to us formally saying that they will no longer be requesting for container deposit. So we are very hopeful that in the near future we will find solution to that as well.
Okay. So what's your relationship, the council's relationship with your sister agency?
Oh, that relationship is very, apart from being a symbiotic relationship, it's a relationship that is growing in the right direction. I told you earlier on how the minister is very particular about collaboration, coordination, and cooperation of all the agencies in the sector. That's the only way we can succeed. That's the only way we can achieve results. By the way, the executive powers that agency heads use today to be chief executive is actually the powers of the president, the executive powers of the president. So he donates just pieces of those powers to people to head certain agencies as chief executive. Beyond that, it is his job. All of us are doing his job. So it is his success that matters to him. And to say that we are working for him, if you cannot bring about success story to him, if you are only concerned about hindering other persons from bringing about success story to him, then you are not doing his bidding. What you are doing is you are working adverse against him. So you may be said not to belong to where you are if you cannot work in support of what is happening. But I believe that the agency heads understand this. They understand the importance of working together in collaborative manner. So in the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy at the moment, we do not have any friction because all of us are working together for the mandate of Mr. President through the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy.
We'll be right back in a minute. Stay tuned.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on Vop TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
You're welcome back to the program, the Maritime Frontier Show. Of course, we are here one-on-one with the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers Council, Dr. Keima Pius Akuta. Sir, there's a whole lot of complaints about the activities of the maritime police, blocking and seizing cargoes that have already been cleared along the way. Has there been any kind of dialogue with the maritime police? Because that complaints keep cropping up every time there's a conversation about the issues within the maritime sector.
Mm-hmm. So we have received these complaints over time, and we have conducted stakeholder engagement on this same issue over time. But the truth of the matter is that the maritime police is set up specifically to manage the civil claims, the claims arising out of the maritime space. Mm-hmm. They are the ones that manage these issues. But then some of their responsibility or the mandate of the police under their act is to maintain law and order and also to investigate crimes where they occur. Mm-hmm. So they have a mandate which they operate within the sector. We cannot just look at every case and say they are not within their mandate. No. And we cannot even show them how to do the work. All that we need to do is to have that collaboration with them as a partner in progress within the maritime space. So we have always done that. But we cannot stop them from carrying out their mandate. Now, it's to continue to talk to them and see how their mandate will not impede on the trade activities, but we support the quick, resolution of crisis to move the sector forward. But to say anything more than this, I don't think I would be right, because we cannot stop them from carrying out their mandate. They have their mandate. But we kept on engaging. The last time we visited the IG of police, the former IG, last year, we spoke to him about this issue, and he also intervened in it, and we saw some improvement. But then it started again. But what can you say? Can you say that they should not carry out their mandate? I cannot. The only thing is to say, in carrying out your mandate, please remember that the national interest is more important than anything, and it is important for us at this moment to see how this sector will grow through the instrumentality of those who are working with us already. So that is it, but we'll continue to engage with them. Okay. You notice that, let me add this. When that was happening, they called us out. The public called us out and said, we are conniving with the maritime police to extort people. Yeah. That was the accusation that came up. And we said that whatever interventions we've had was in favor of Nigerians. Okay. Because whenever their containers were arrested and they call upon us, they write to us, we act. And then we write at the end of the day to the police, the maritime police, asking them to release the container and discharge it. This is where we came in. And we came in the interest of our stakeholders. That is it. And we told them during the 2 days meeting, we told them, if you think that we are conniving with police for any reason, so let us withdraw, remove our hands. Otherwise, what we are doing is for your interest, that your container is arrested and you have written to us. And we have contacted these people and we say, we are writing to you to release our container. Where have we gone wrong? But they say we connive with police and all sorts of things. But that's not true.
Okay. So, building upon what you just talked about now, it seems that there's a little bit of a lacuna in terms of the understanding between this council and the stakeholders. Is there any platform on which you meet regularly, or as suggested on that day, shouldn't there be a constant stakeholders engagement, maybe weekly or monthly or bi-monthly?
Ours is a stakeholder organization. We believe strongly in our stakeholders and we meet our stakeholders regularly. It depends on which side of the divide you are as a stakeholder. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Otherwise, we meet our stakeholders regularly. We have traveled to all the zonal offices, and when we go there, we meet stakeholders. And a lot of things happen. Resolution of disputes, because we have a dispute resolution unit that is doing very well. So most times you
meet with them.
Yes.
The suggestion on that day was that you have one that is probably maybe every month, which is constant, and not just maybe acting in a kind of ad hoc manner where there's a problem you go to solve it.
Yes.
But a place where you get to talk about issues,
Mhm.
a whole lot of issues, maybe compounding issues on regular basis.
Yeah.
That is what is suggested.
Yes. So we also have, independently, we have decided that that's what we want to do going forward. So I think it's not a bad idea. Meeting with stakeholders regularly strengthens the bond, strengthens the unity, and makes everybody feel the same. So it's not a problem.
All right, sir. The issue of empty containers littering everywhere around the ports, heaps of them everywhere, it's one that is looking like it's becoming an embarrassment for the country, sir. What is the council? What would be the right thing to do in order to make Nigeria not to become the dumping ground for empty containers that it is looking like it is right now, sir?
Where containers are properties of the shipping companies. And that is why there is a bond to return them.
Yes.
Any customer who takes them away is committed to returning it. So, saying they are littered around, well, that was some time ago, but now I think that has been curtailed to a large extent. And you know that sometimes when people take these containers to go offload, they are not even prepared. Sometimes these are very special containers that need some level of knowledge to be able to deal with. So the issues are multifaceted, but they are surmountable.
Okay. Okay. Is it the issue of shipping, or is it what are the problems, sir?
They come again.
No, in terms of not being able to evacuate the empty containers that are heaped at our ports. Is it that the shipping companies are not they're not having enough ships to come and take them? Or what's the problem?
The problem has actually reduced. Before now, yes, but now even our export has surged by 30% up.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a question of whether these containers have cargo to take back, or they are going back as empty containers. And as a country, it's not even in our good image that we have containers come in and go back empty, because at the end of the day, we will not be able to achieve the balance of payments.
Yeah.
So now the thing is that these containers are going back not as empties, but majorly they are going with our export as well.
Yeah.
And you hardly see, I was at the terminal today, and you see that most of the terminals today have, containers are moving very fast.
Okay. All right, sir. Give us a summary of your performance over the past 2 years, sir.
Well, it's sometimes not the best to ask someone to give an account of himself, because people should evaluate your performance and say what you have done. But I think that the council in the last 2 years has moved farther away from where we were 2 years ago when we took over. A lot has happened. Even looking at our environment alone tells you it's sometimes not the best to ask someone to give an account of himself. The council in the last 2 years has moved farther away from where we were 2 years ago when we took over. A lot has happened. Even looking at our environment alone tells you that a lot has changed. When you come into the council today, here in the headquarters in Lagos, you will see that we have modernized our work environment, made it more conducive for people to work and stay longer in the office. I think this is almost to 8 p.m. and we're still here, and we're not feeling it because of the conducive nature of the environment. And it's happening across board. And beside that, to say that for 2 years we are able to hold on to monitor the economy without any additional tariff or tariff increment shows you that we know, at least we know what we're doing. We're monitoring things and we ensure that the economy does not collapse because it's our responsibility to do that. And in the last few years, you will notice that no serious crises have happened in the sector. We were able to handle the Maritime Workers Union and their members by way of negotiating the minimum standards, which has made them happy. And I believe that agitation sometimes are as a result of welfare issues. So we are advocating for more welfare for people who work in that sector. And then we also have taken the issue of registration of service users and service providers with our portal very seriously. And we have developed the app that will help them to register seamlessly. We have achieved many other applications, online applications that are working today that makes things very easy for people who are providing services or people we are giving services to. Now, the council itself is modernizing and it's moving away from analog way of doing things to internet platforms. We have just achieved the ECMS last year, beating the deadline that the permanent secretary, the head of service gave us for 31st December. We implemented it last year. And today, most of the internal processes at the council are digitized. So all I need to do, you can see my table, it's empty, no files. You see only the computer desktop there and a small tablet with me. And we work on the go. So even if I travel today to Abuja, I don't need to say I'm going to carry files with me to Abuja and be working. No, my files are in my system. And anytime I open I have my desk, I go there and all that is needed for me to do, approvals or whatever, on the go, I do them. Okay. So a lot has happened. And then the presence of the Shippers Council in terms of handling disputes in the sector. We acknowledge that the disputes are very expensive and time consuming. So it is better that we develop an alternative dispute resolution mechanism through our complaints unit. And a lot of disputes have been resolved amongst the people. And I believe strongly that we have done well in the last few years. If it is to save money, at least we have saved this country over 70 billion in the last 2 years.
That's good. So the experts say that the Nigerian maritime industry is worth about 90 trillion naira annually. That's the level of income that should come into the country. But for 2025, the sector, what came to most of the government agencies, are about 9 trillion naira. What would you like to see in place for the country to start reaping more from the sector?
You know, the concept of national GDP is how much money a country makes and how much it spends.
Yeah.
So this government is prioritizing revenue generation and is ensuring that leakages are blocked so that the proper income that this country should make should accrue to the country. A lot is happening in the sector, within the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. You have seen that in the last 2 years, our revenue profile has moved from a paltry 700 billion to over 1.8 trillion, which means it has doubled and almost tripled in the last 2 years, meaning that we're making progress. We are not there yet because a lot of potentials in the sector has not been tapped. We are yet working on tapping some of those resources for good of the economy. But the first things first, and I must give honor to whom honor is due and credit to whom credit is due. The Honorable Minister, he has done so well in the last 2 years, beginning from the decision that the President took to create this ministry to diversify the economy, to what the Minister has done so far, giving us a brand new policy on marine and blue economy that has never existed before, which is like the guiding light for us to carry on in the industry. Then you will see that is doing everything possible to resolve all the conflicts that have been pending as a result of the checkered implementation of that government policy. By the time ICTN comes on board, it's going to show up the revenue of the council, and then many other aspects. Yes. Okay. But again, we also are mindful of the economic realities on Nigerians. You know that this government has taken very, very far-reaching decisions that have led to so much economic revolution in the country, and to bring about the number of reforms that are coming up. Actually, the purchasing power of the common man over there has been, greatly impacted. So that is also the aspect of welfare of the people which not I don't want to say that government is giving concessions to people so that the general public can benefit from that. But you see that government has slowed down in the effort to generate more revenue, so that people can settle down and let the economy peak, let people regain their purchasing powers relatively. But then a lot is happening in terms of revenue generation, which will show up our revenue in the few years to come.
All right, sir. Your parting shot, sir, in 30 seconds, sir. Tell us what you would like the whole parties, on different aisles of the economy to do in order for the, develop this sector faster and even grow bigger.
Yeah, in concluding, and the marine and blue economy sector is the #1 business interest for everyone who wants to invest. And we'll call on investors to come into the sector and put their money here. In a few years, when the marine and blue economy is booming, it would have been too late for you to come in. So this is the right time to bring your investment here. And let us all know that whether we head agencies or we work in agencies or we are business people or we belong to union groups and all of that, or we are foreign companies operating in Nigeria, all that should matter to us at this point is the interest of this country.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. This has been the Maritime Frontier Show from VOP Television. Of course, my name is Delio Tommy. Would like you to stay tuned for the next edition next week. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Have yourself a lovely week ahead.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Because I said so.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your girl Phil Storms out here, and this is a big shout out to VOP TV.
Hi guys, my name is Charles Bond.
My name is Lydia Lawrence Nzaya.
Please keep watching Voice of
the
Communication Queen. Keep watching VOP TV.
I am Samantha Jacobs, representing the States. Miami's in the house, and I want to make a shout out to VOP TV. I'm a humanitarian, and I'm up to stay on their path too. Cheers.
All right, my name is John Odibo. Keep watching Voice of the People because it's a fantastic station to be with all the time. Thank you very much.
My name is Pastor Elvis Ciro, the convener of the Voice Achievers Award, and keep watching VOP. Yes, that is the channel for all the people. No color, no race. Thank you so much.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abbas Sunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the Voice of the People. Don't touch that.
When I first heard VOP, I thought they were talking about me because I'm a voiceover personality. But no, this is Voice of the People TV, and you are riveted forever because this is the place to be.
Yo guys, your boy Chella, shout out to Vop TV. I love you guys.
Salut, salut tout le monde, Suspect 95, là on est sur Vop TV. On passe un bon temps. J'espère que vous kiffez, on est au Afrima. On est en...
Little short documentary, and will let you know how gospel music has evolved and changed over time in a particular place, country, or even in a locality. So today we'll be, giving you that very short documentary to letting you know how much gospel music has impacted life, how much gospel music has impacted generations, and of course, places. And yes, that's about the first segment of the show. And yes, after the segment, we'll go straight to looking at the top 5 gospel songs of the week. And trust me when I say this, it's about one of the most beautiful moments for me because, again, I look forward to seeing it. And that also is where we tell you what song is making a round and what song you should, gospel song, not secular songs. And yes, after the segment, we'll go straight to our interview segment where we'll call it the gospel one-on-one with our guest. But today we'll be having one-on-one with ourselves. And that particular segment is called Behind the Music segment. So, but today we'll be having the conversation.
Historical forces such as the arrival of freed African American settlers, Christian missionaries in the 19th century, and the deep-rooted musical traditions of Liberia's indigenous ethnic groups, spiritual expressions into a rich fusion of traditional rhythms, vernacular languages, and contemporary gospel forms that resonate across generations, cultures, and social classes. Traditional gospel music genres in Liberia. Bassa traditional gospel, Bassa church songs. Bassa traditional gospel emerged among the Bassa people of Grand Bassa County as Christianity spread into indigenous communities. Rather than abandoning traditional musical forms, the Bassa adapted Christian teachings into long-form vocal compositions rooted in oral storytelling, communal worship, and ancestral performance traditions. Over time, Bassa gospel music incorporated translated biblical texts, church liturgy, and choir arrangements while retaining indigenous structures such as extended call and response singing, layered harmonies, and traditional percussion. In later decades, recordings and radio broadcasts helped preserve and modernize the genre. Bassa gospel music has served as a spiritual and cultural anchor, reinforcing ethnic identity while teaching Christian values. It continues to influence modern Liberian gospel choirs and has become a powerful medium for intergenerational transmission of faith, language, and history. Bima-style gospel, Christianized traditional music. Bima refers broadly to traditional Liberian gospel, praise music, and even secular popular genres. Kron and Southeastern Vernacular Gospel. Among the Kron and related Southeastern ethnic groups, vernacular gospel music emerged as Christianity spread through rural communities. Songs were composed in local languages, emphasizing communal singing and spiritual expression rooted in indigenous rhythm and melody. These gospel forms evolved organically through church worship, funerals, and as West American church traditions. Liberians gradually localized these hymns by translating lyrics into indigenous languages, modifying rhythms, and incorporating African vocal inflections. This adaptation laid the foundation for a distinctly Liberian gospel sound. Mission hymns shaped early Christian worship and music education, influencing choir structures and harmonic arrangements. Their localization fostered intercultural dialogue and set the stage for hybrid gospel expressions across the country.
Every language, praising God in every way. This is gospel fusion.
Oh, well, glad to have you back. Yes, it is about time. And again, looking at that documentary, I only was just telling myself that gospel music truly has evolved. And just like the Holy Book did say, until the gospel reach the ends of the earth, that until then, that is when the return of Christ shall be. And I can tell you that the gospel is getting to almost the ends of the earth through music, just like you've witnessed there. Bassa gospel, hymnal gospel, a lot of this genre of music in Liberia has truly evolved over time, because I can tell you for a fact the Bassa gospel, when it started, a lot of people never identified with it, because yes, the Bassa people, it was within the Bassa people doing that. Make sure you have the hashtag, whether it's hashtag Gospel Fusion Live, hashtag Top 5 Gospel Songs of the Week. And yes, it will distinctively tell what message we are going to be reacting to. And yes, like I always would say, you can also join this conversation, or you can take us with us anywhere in the world. And when I say us, I mean the station Voice of the People TV, just by going to Google and type in www.vop.ng. And with that, you can take us with you anywhere in the world. And if you've already subscribed to our YouTube portal, congratulations and thank you for doing that. But if you haven't, just click on the subscription button and yes, turn on the notification bell so that when we come up on the air, just like now, you can get that notification that
Two. Number one.
Gospel Fusion Live. Top 5 Gospel Song of the Week. Gospel Fusion Live. Top 5 Gospel Song of the Week.
Number 5.
Every second, every hour, every day.
Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. Number 1.
Gospel Fusion Live. Top 5 Gospel Song of the Gospel Fusion.
All right, there you have it. I mean, in the words of Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, is that if music is the food of love, play it on. Now, the top 5 gospel song of the week was so exciting that the team had to play it twice. And I can tell you that truly it was exciting. Beautiful songs there. I mean, Ambassador Chinyere Udoma on the top 5. I think she was the top 3. We have Moses Blees. We have Ima, Oh My God.
Graduate student in my school, chemical engineering department, a American one for I speak to you currently is a masquerade in Anambra. He's the one that does the libation during New Year festival. I was passing up the week, I saw masquerade dancing. Masquerade and circle. A American one for is that you say my brother is me. I said, what are you doing? He said, my brother, I'm working for the gods. I said, what is your job? He said, before I pour palm wine on the soil, I test the acidity of the soil. I said, what for? He said, the soil is too acidic, the gods can become drunk. I said, Baba, you are doing a great job. You are working spiritual work.
Well, there you have it. A special distraction by my friend and brother forever, doing his thing there. And of course, we just have to take care of ourselves by having some good laugh there. Hopefully, Forever would be in the studio with us pretty soon because, yes, we're working on that to making sure that we have these fine gentlemen that is really making a stride for themselves in their industry. Of course, come here. When darkness would be able to comprehend light. I mean, it's just like the studios here. It's all lit up. You can see me so clearly. I mean, crystal clear. But if the light goes off, you would not be able to see me. So what that means is we should be able to shine our lights. And in shining our lights, some of the times, it also has to do with our finances, are the habits that can make us grow broke. Now, it is important, really, and sometimes we wonder how why it feels like money disappears from us than we earn. I know the economy is not smiling. I know cost of living is, as we were invited to maybe do some window shopping with someone, and then boom, you are buying what you cannot even pay for. And then you're asking the next person, oh, please, can you let me qualities and powers? Now, I like to stay with the word complete in him. It simply means that on all fronts, I am very complete and perfect. Financial, health-wise, wisdom, name it. I mean, I am super complete. So that is what God created us to be, the light of the world. And trust me, the light cannot be shining where darkness is. So darkness can't be you not being financially stable. Let your light shine. And how best do you do that? By letting go of these habits that we're talking about and taking in the very right habits of doing right by yourself and as a child of God. Now, another habit that we carefully should try as much as we can to let go of is dependence of single income. Now, a dependent on a single income source can be trickish. And I wouldn't say it's bad. In fact, if you ask me, it's not really cool, right? Only if it's your business. And even if it's your business, right, you should also be able to try to diversify. So I know some professional people who are professional in their job or a place of work that ends very well. Very, very well. But here's the thing. Overdependence on that single income source really can be trickish. Relying solely on one source of income, like I said, can also be risky. What if something happens? God forbid. What if something happens? And diversifying is key. Your income streams by exploring part-time gigs or investment can provide a safety net and increase your financial stability. Now, what you have on your screen is also another act on its own. I mean, there are several things that can make you go broke and poor. For some, lottery, gambling, alcoholism, eating out too often. I mean, smoking. Well, as Christians, you don't have to do that, right? Not paying credit cards in full. Okay, that's another part. Overpriced coffee, impulse shopping. I did mention that earlier. Latest technology. Oh yes, keeping up with the trend. We'll get to that as well. Not canceling subscription even when you don't need it. Buying branded clothes. Of course, that also is about following the trend. We'll get to that in a bit. Buying bottled drinks and all of that. Video games and all of that. So much. But let's still stay with the dependence of a single income source. If you do not diversify your single income source, sometimes it might just help you, right? It might just not help you. So it's important that we explore part-time gigs Of course, I spoke about investment earlier that can provide safety nets and increase our financial stability. Oh, yes, there you have it. This is not supposed to be the position of a Christian. Empty pause. Come on. I did say earlier at the beginning of the show that finance, is a major tool to spreading the gospel. You cannot spread the gospel in that kind of empty pause that you saw on the screen just a couple of minutes ago. You can never, I dare say, you can never propagate the gospel when you are that broke. In fact, sometimes promulgation of the gospel can even come from the way you give, right? Which is the reason why we're talking about these habits that can help us go super broke. And it's so terrible that even as Christians, we indulge in some of these things, and it's so wrong. I have to say this. If you know that your position as the light of the world is going to solely depend on you borrowing, then I dare say you are not the light of the world. You are just the direct opposite. And it's super important that we carefully look at these habits. Another habit that we need to carefully work on is always chasing trend. You did see in the picture that, that were brought up earlier of always gunning for gadgets. So financial well-being should stay steady. You need to prioritize your needs over your wants, and of course, resist the urge to plunge on new trends. Trust me when I say this, trends can be very, very tempting. I'll give you an example. Just a couple of months ago, the iPhone 15, was released by Apple. And months after, iPhone 16 came. Boom. Now, if you're one who chases trend, you would, of course, tell yourself, okay, I have iPhone 15. Let me go on for iPhone 16. Even when your finances are not even stable to that level. It's wrong. Some go as far as even doing gadgets. Gadgets you don't even need. So we need to prioritize our wants, our needs, I beg your pardon, over our wants. What do you want? What do you truly, truly want? And what exactly do you need at the time? You need to prioritize these things, because guess what? If you do not do that, it plunges your finances into a terrible state, and you cannot gain financial freedom. And of course, if you cannot gain financial freedom, how can you spread the gospel with your finance? Think about it. So chasing trend can be tempting, but again, like I said, trends come and go. You don't want to find yourself having empty wallets. That is a terrible one, and you don't want to find yourself doing that. Now let's jump into another habit that I find major in us going broke. Now, I'm saying this to you, and I'm also taking it in myself. Right. Another habit that we need to let go of is the act of being too generous. Ooh, somebody's going to come at me right now saying, come on. Even Jesus was talking to disciples, and of course the scribes, and was saying that you fed the poor when they needed it was the time that you fed me. Okay, very cool. But here's the thing. Being too generous can be a bit trickish. I tell you what, being kind is wonderful, but being overly generous with your money can lead to some level of financial strain. Now, if you remember the story, Jesus was talking to the disciples, and he did say, you cannot give the food meant for the children to the dog. Now, if you ask me, what that simply means is there are some people who truly, truly does not deserve that giving that you gave them. I'll give you an example. Once upon a time, I heard of someone who asked for help and they gathered together in that community and gave this person help. And guess what? This person went partying with that fund, with friends. 2 weeks after, of course, your guess is as good as mine. He went broke. Now, this was someone that the community gathered money for because he said he wanted to try and start off his life as an engineer. He learned how to, repair gadgets, phone gadgets, and they gathered money for him. And then he went party. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, he became broke. What do you think would happen to him should he go to that community again? Your guess is as good as mine, really. But it is important to strike a balance, really, between helping others and ensuring your finances. Create a budget that allows for both generosity and responsible spending. You might not truly understand what I'm trying to say here, but maybe when you sit yourself back and, of course, talk to yourself, you truly would understand what I'm trying to say. If you can create a budget that allows for both generosity and responsible spending, then you can then find out truly that you have been overly generous in places that you're not supposed to. Now, let me also break your heart. Not all giving gives you the blessing. You want to maybe find out why. It's very simple. You ask the Holy Spirit for help. Trust me, He speaks to everybody. I mean, I dare say anyone who truly and sincerely asks for the Holy Spirit for help. Now, even to the point of giving. Sometimes you have the urge to give. Sometimes you don't. Now, the times when you don't, guess what? It is sometimes the Holy Spirit pricking you not to do that. But sometimes because you're overly generous, you want to give it. And guess what? You don't get the blessings. And sometimes we give because we just want to show off. Now, I'm not even talking about, giving holistically, as it were, but I'm only trying to make us understand that it is pretty important that we understand clearly that being overly generous can be managed. Like you can create a strong balance between generosity and, of course, responsible giving. Now, at this point, really, sometimes a lot of us as individuals, we're too quick to saying, the Bible says we should give, it shall, shall come back to us, good measure, pressed down. Okay, I get that. And I know that as well. I'm not going to tell you that I don't know that. But sometimes, if we truly tell ourselves the bitter truth, sometimes the Holy Spirit has stopped us from some kind of giving. But we've said no. Because we truly feel, let's do this giving. Now, some of the habits that we've mentioned today are pretty important because as Christians and as individuals as well, you might not be a Christian yet, but as individuals as well, we need to know that these habits would make us go so broke to the point that people who do not even believe that God will serve would say, if it's this kind of Christianity that is in this man that you want to preach to me, no, don't preach to me. So that's the thing. We need to carefully look at this situation. And of course, another habit, truly, that can make us truly go financially broke is seeking approvals from others. You want to do a project. You want to get along with some other plan of your life, but you desire to seek approval from some other persons who, again, truly do not care. And then when they give that approval with a negative, sometimes when it comes negative, you hold back from moving forward. Guess what? That is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have your plan anchored by God, and of course, go ahead to push in the plan and enjoy the God who has given you the plan to push out. So sometimes these things can make us truly broke. Now, another habit, and because of our time, I'm going to be giving us just two more so that we can round up from here. Another habit that can make us really go broke is staying in our comfort zone. You know, sometimes truly, right? If you're comfortable with where you are, and maybe for some reasons you earn some good amount of money where you are, you just might not want to diversify or do something else to make you earn more. Now, that is not a good habit to, have. Like I did say earlier, you can get some other gigs away from what you do after carefully doing your due diligence. You can also put your money and your funds into some good investment after carrying out your due diligence about their investment. So it may not be your traditional style, but you need to do it. Because sometimes single income streams can be a bit risky. And this is our truth. Sometimes we need to start telling ourselves this truth. You may want to start off something good, but because it's not your line of profession, you hold back. Guess what? This is you staying in your comfort zone. And it is not, if you ask me, good enough as someone who wants to shine the light to the world. So it is important that we let go of the habit of staying in our comfort zone and, most importantly, not moving. Now, finally, because of our time, I know we've spoken about procrastination extensively. Procrastination, again, is another major habit that we need to let go as God's people. And I dare say this afternoon, I beg your pardon, that the moment that we, find a way round procrastination and do better by ourselves by deciding on when and, of course, going ahead to do that thing that we've decided on, that project that we decided on, trust me, you will be doing yourself so much good than harm. But it's important that you let go of all of this habit that we've spoken about today. Because trust me when I say this, it is going to really, really, really help us to be financially strong and financially stable. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. It is important to strike a balance between helping others and ensuring your financial stability. Like I said earlier, breaking the circle of these habits can be a game changer for your financial health. Well, again, I'm using the term now, health, because if your financial health is not stable, sometimes serving God might be difficult. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because it's very important that we have this understanding together. It's about making mindful choices. It's about living within our means and, of course, being strategic with our money. This way, we definitely cannot go broke. By adopting healthy financial habits, we can build more secure and stable financial future for ourselves. Remember, the small changes that we make today can lead to big rewards tomorrow. And that's where I'm going to leave it. These changes of letting go of these habits that we've spoken about today might be the major game changer for our financial health tomorrow. Now, I'll leave you with the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the Indian great. He did say real wealth, lies in our health. So your wealth at this point, your financial health at this point can also be reliant on the habits that we take in as God's people. And of course, I'm going to definitely will tell you this. Every day is a plus. Only if you consistently anchor it on the one who knows and holds tomorrow. Because you're not guaranteed of anything at all. But of course, you're guaranteed of the fact that you are complete in Him, who is the head of all principalities. But this is where we have to draw anchor on the show this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I dare say that I've truly learned from all of this that we've spoken about. And I hope that you have as well. And most importantly as well, I want to say thank you to all of you out there, and to you particularly, you watching us right now, who have consistently been with us over time and even till this point. I mean, we cannot do this without you. And special thanks to all of my guys at the back for consistently making the show worth it. And I'm talking about my director, Manfred, of course, my sound person, Apostle Paul, and my Angels person, Sammy Lee, and of course, Lady A. And of course, I cannot forget my bars person, E.K. Chuko, the only Arsenal man that always believes that Arsenal is greater than every other club in the world. Anyways, we gotta go. And a couple of minutes from now, yes, sir, we will go into the other side of the conversation. And of course, you know what I'm talking about. Praise Wave Live with world famous DJ Ivan taking us through 1 hour of amazing gospel tunes that will be, strategically placing us in a place of victory, because yes, it's the start of a beautiful week. And of course, starting it with praise will be amazing. I dare say you praise until something happens. All right, then that will be at the top of the hour, just in a couple of seconds or minutes from now. All right, until then, hey, David E saying, do have an amazing week ahead. Don't forget to always stay positive, because every day is a plus. God loves you, and so do I. Have a beautiful week ahead. God bless.
This is gospel fusion. From the streets to the steeple, from the young to the wise. With every nation, with a sound that never dies. Hop together, never dies. Heartbeat of revival. Let the Spirit lead the way. Every reverend, every language, praising God in every way. This is gospel fusion.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
When I first heard VOP,
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejimo.
Hi everyone, People TV. It's good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are, that's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap charge. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you.
and I want you. And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep watching VOP TV. I want to actually, I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that dial, because VOP is the plot.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Lovisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of...
My name is Unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid.
People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in.
Red carpets. Award Voice of the People Television. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Go anywhere. Where are you going to? Stay here. Calm down. Stay here if you're not.
What's up, everybody? Who's Arco here, and I'm hanging out on VOP TV. Keep it locked, don't go nowhere. Let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Jagade. You are watching VOP TV, and don't change the dial, because I said so.
Who's happy to post? I mean, who's happy the most? Because when shit goes south, y'all be happy to ghost. When you make a wrong move, they be happy to roast. But be careful when you win, who's not happy to toast. I am VJ Adams, and you're rocking with VOP TV. Don't move.
Hi, people. Bisola here, and you are watching VOP TV. Mwah.
Shout out to VOP TV.
Here's a shout out to VOP TV. It's your hi everyone.
Still politics, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is raising concerns over alleged plans to suspend political campaigns in parts of northern Nigeria. In a statement, Atiku warned that insecurity should are constitutional rights that must be protected. He further argued risk weakening trust in the electorate. The Nigerian Guild of Editors have taken the National Broadcasting Commission to court over what they describe as threats to sanction broadcasters for expressing opinions. They argue the move could undermine press freedom in Nigeria. The lawsuit challenges sections of the Broadcasting Code, which the NBC says are meant to curb misinformation and ensure professionalism in broadcasting. However, SERAP and the NGE insist the rules are vague, overly broad, and open to abuse. The groups are asking the Federal High Court in Lagos to declare several provisions of the code unconstitutional. They also want the court to stop the NBC from imposing any sanctions on broadcasters under the disputed rules. They argue that journalism includes opinion and analysis, which are protected under both the Nigerian Constitution and international human rights law. The case is expected to test the balance between media regulation and freedom of expression ahead of future elections. Environmental matters now. The state government in Lagos says it has begun immediate clearance of waste generated during the recently reintroduced monthly environmental sanitation exercise. Officials say the aim is to prevent blocked drainage channels and reduce flood risks across the city. The Commissioner for Environment, and Water Resources says operational teams, including LOMA officials, private contractors, and local councils, are actively working across different parts of Lagos. He says the state is receiving early updates on waste evacuation efforts. He explains that the focus is not only on cleaning streets, but also on ensuring that drains, canals, and roadsides are properly cleared. According to him, this is key to protecting the state from flooding as rainfall intensifies. Authorities are urging residents to support the initiative by maintaining proper waste disposal habits. They say the goal is a cleaner and safer Lagos with sustained environmental discipline across communities. Still Lagos, the State Traffic Management Authority says, unfortunately, 69 people lost their lives in road crashes across the state in the first quarter of 2026. Another 246 people were injured in various degrees during the same period. The agency says it cleared more than 600 accident scenes between January and March. It also handled over 900 cases involving trucks and other heavy-duty vehicles on Lagos roads. According to LASMA, it recorded nearly 18,000 traffic offenses within the period using technology-based monitoring systems. Officials say enforcement operations were also intensified, with close to 5,000 interventions carried out. The agency says it remains committed to reducing road crashes through stricter enforcement and improved response time. It also says ongoing training of officers is part of efforts to improve traffic management across the state. And now to some crime-related cases. The NDLEA has intercepted a shipment of a captagon, a powerful and dangerous stimulant linked to militant groups. The seizure was made during a routine patrol in Kwara State along the Bode-Sadu axis. One suspect was arrested with thousands of pills hidden in a vehicle alongside other controlled substances. In a separate stop, officers also uncovered a large consignment of tramadol and other pharmaceuticals concealed in a trailer. Elsewhere, operations across the country led to multiple arrests involving cocaine, cannabis, and opioid trafficking. In Oyo State, a suspect even excreted 45 pellets of cocaine after being placed under observation. The agency says the operations are part of a nationwide crackdown on drug trafficking networks. And the LAA leadership insists the seizures are disrupting both local supply chains and international drug routes. And now to a story we've been following. The federal government is calling for an independent and impartial investigation into the death of a Nigerian national in South Africa. The case involves a Mr. Ekpeyong Onaimeka Matthew Andrew, who reportedly died after an interaction with police in Pretoria. According to reports, the Nigerian was arrested in Boysen's area on the 19th of April 2026. His body was later discovered at a mortuary the following day under unclear circumstances. The Nigerian Consular General Ambassador Okeoche expressed deep grief over the incident and confirmed that a formal case has been opened with the South African Police Service. The ambassador is urging the Independent Police Investigative Directorate to expedite their inquiries to ensure accountability and maintain public confidence. Well, may the soul of the departed rest in peace. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has called on officers of the Nigerian Police Force to treat citizens with civility and professionalism. He says members of the public should be seen as partners and even as bosses of the police. The IGP gave the directive during an engagement with journalists in Lagos. He also addressed officers of the Rapid Response Squad, stressing the need for discipline and respecting policing. He explained that public trust is key to effective policing across the country. According to him, officers must remember they are funded by taxpayers and must act responsibly at all times. This also recalled his earlier experience working closely with journalists in Lagos. Stakeholders at the event welcomed the message, describing it as a positive step toward improving police public relations. Well, from security to education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has officially debunked a viral social media post claiming a candidate from Cross River State scored 394 in the 2026 UTME. In a statement released Sunday, JAM spokesperson Dr. Fabian Benjamin described the results slip as an outright fabrication and urged the public to disregard the information. The board pointed out several red flags in the trending document, including registration number that does not match the official system generated format. Officials also clarified that 2026 results are currently strictly view-only, meaning any printed or shared result templates circulating online are inherently fraudulent. JAMB expressed surprise that such an obvious forgery was being shared so widely, even by well-informed individuals on platforms like X. The board emphasized that its security protocols are designed to prevent such tampering and that the official results remain secure within their database. Well, you're watching News Hour on Vop TV. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Are you looking for where to buy quality and original studio and musical equipment in Nigeria? Welcome to Iruka Online, Nigeria's biggest musical and sound equipment warehouse. Your trusted home for top global brands, reliable low price alternatives, and 100% original musical accessories. With over 16 locations nationwide and open 7 days a week, we deliver unbeatable service and customer support you can count on. Shop online at iruka.com in partnership with world-renowned brands like Wolfdale Pro, Prisoners, Twile Keyboards, Fender and Jackson Guitars, Marshall Amplification, Mapex Acoustic Drum Set, Tech Electronic Drums and Accessories, Evans Drumheads, Ashdown Engineering, and many more. Iruka Online, powering your sound with quality you can trust.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpehon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to talk, please discuss.
Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Yes, obviously everybody knows the game is beautiful and that's why I love sports. My name is Kizzy K. You're welcome to my republic. But remember, there can never be a transfer without a window. Just like there can never be a deep thinking without a Pep Guardiola in football. You can't say tennis without talking about Djokovic. So why not give me attention on the show so I can run your race on the TV like Lewis Hamilton Formula One star? Don't forget, when God have mercy on you, you can achieve your goals like Cristiano Ronaldo. I am a proud Nigerian, and right here, we talk NFF. For every sports update, commentaries, live interviews on the game, we got you on this because right here at Voice of the Vop TV, the Sports Public Show has got everything just for you to be part of it. I love the beautiful game, and that's why Kizzy K loves sports.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
When I first heard VOP, I thought they were talking about me because I'm a voice-over personality.
I love you guys.
Salut, salut tout le monde, Suspect 95, là on est sur VOP TV, on passe un bon temps, j'espère que vous kiffez, on est au Afrima, on est ensemble, VOP TV.
Don't see me like a fool because I don't do giddy giddy giddy. VOP, you don't know Stoneware from Ghana representing live and living color. Yeah, Beam Nation President, outside with it. Bless up.
Hello, this is Milo from Ivory Coast. Keep watch Voice of the People TV. Regardez la voix du peuple, la télévision de la voix du peuple. Que Dieu vous bénisse. À très bientôt. Love you so much.
Hi guys, what's up? This is Gaze Baba. I am watching VOP TV. Usually you'll be told to not touch the dial, but I tell you to touch the dial and increase the volume. You're like, keep it locked. It's Afro Gospel. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shego Aronzo. You're watching VOP. Don't change the dial.
My Joe, fine girl. My Joe, fine babe. Yes, don't touch the dial. This is me, Dr. Adewale Iba. Keep watching VOPT.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Mama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
Alright, hello, it's a boy that's shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers Boy Ever Live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP.
Welcome back, everyone. The Nigerian Navy has flagged off exercise Ogbagbame Express 2026 with the deployment of 10 ships and 2 helicopters. The operation is aimed at strengthening maritime security across the Gulf of Guinea. The 5-day exercise, which began on Saturday at the Onne Jetty in Rivers State, will run until April 30. It also involves officers from sister security agencies and international partners. According to the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral E.D. Abbas, the exercise is designed to improve regional cooperation and operational readiness. He says it will also help tackle piracy, illegal trafficking, and other maritime crimes. The Navy says that the drill will include scenarios such as search and rescue, anti-oil theft exercises as well. And now the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Lanre Issa Onilu, has briefed President Bola Tinubu on the agency's recent progress and ongoing interventions, according to the Director of Communication and Media, Bala Musa, noting that core to his appointment is aligning the agency with the President's vision for value reorientation. Issa Onilu said that recognition of these gains is the outcome of Tinubu's leadership, policy guidance, and sustained support for the NOA as a critical institution in shaping national consciousness. He added that the visit also afforded him an opportunity to present NOA's proposed programs and projects for the 2026 operational year, designed to deepen citizen engagement, strengthen the National Values Charter, and scale up nationwide sensitization efforts. Therefore, he sought the President's approval and guidance to ensure full alignment with national priorities and to secure the necessary backing for effective implementation. Nigeria's economic future and the impact of political decisions on governance have dominated discussions at the 2026 Niche Annual Lecture in Lagos. Stakeholders, including former Central Bank Governor Muhammadu Sanusi II, Abia State Governor Alex Oti, labor leaders, and traditional rulers, called for responsible leadership, fiscal discipline, and formal voting ahead of the 2027 general elections. Our correspondent reports.
The 26th Niche Annual Lecture brought together policymakers, economics, traditional rulers, and labor leaders to examine Nigeria's economic direction under the theme Governing the Economy, Choices and Priorities. The annual forum, organized by Niche, focused on governance, economic reforms, and the link between the political decisions and national development. In his welcome address, Managing Director and Editor-in-Chief of the Niche, Ikechukwu Amechi, said the lecture series was designed to promote national development beyond ethnicity, religion, and political affiliations.
In the last 3 years, we have, unfailingly, every Monday, drawn the attention of Nigerians to the incredible stories of young Nigerian entrepreneurs who are making giant strides in all fields despite their odds.
He said the platform also highlights young Nigerian entrepreneurs making impact despite economic challenges. Delivering the keynote lecture, Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Chioma Oti said Nigeria's economic challenges cannot be solved with quick fixes, stressing that long-standing structural issues require discipline and consistent reforms. He warned that unemployment, poverty, and weak institutions are outcome of years of poor governance and bad political choices.
There is no silver bullet for solving Nigeria's myriads of economic challenges, because economics is about cold, hard facts, not vanities.
Governor Oti linked economic decline to corruption, political optimism, and weak institutions, adding that leadership quality directly affects investment, job creation, and national stability.
Abia, I can say with every sense of conviction, is proof that economics cannot be separated from politics.
He cited Abia State as an example of how governance reforms can rebuild investors' confidence, improve infrastructure, delivery, and strengthen public institutions.
Investors respond not on emotions, but on hard facts. So have you created the enabling environment? If you've not created the enabling environment, businesses will not come.
Chairman of the occasion, His Royal Highness Muhammadu Sanusi, also weighed in on Nigeria's economic reforms, including subsidy removal and exchange rates. He said while the policies may be necessary, their timing and implementation remain critical.
You have to, when you get to a point where 100% of your revenue goes into debt service, you cannot continue. Where is the money going to come from?
Other discussants include Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Highness Igwe Inemeka Alfred Achebe, Nigerian Congress President Comrade Joe Ajeru, Dr. Jumoke Ogunleye of the University of Lagos, and banking expert Chief Anogwe Ayemu. They all stress inclusive governance, accountability, and economic policies that prioritize citizens' welfare.
First question everybody must ask of a governor or the president or a government is, what is the character of the state? That is what defines everything. Is the state a developmental state that's focused on the people? Is the state a rentier state that is a site for extraction of money by political elite? Is the state a kleptocratic state that just there to serve those who steal?
Speakers also urge Nigerians to take the 2027 election seriously.
Economics does not respond to emotions or sentiments. It is guided by thoughtful decisions and the judgment of those who wield the instruments of power.
The forum ended with
Onyeka, thank you. Over now to Edo State, where government has shut down an illegal orphanage, Owadia Children Home in Owan East, a local government area, over an alleged adoption scam. The operation, led by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, led to the arrest of the proprietor. Correspondent Rhoda Johnny reports.
Edo State government has shut down an illegal orphanage, Owadia Children Home, in Afunze, Owa East local government area, over an alleged adoption scam. The operation, carried out by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, led to the arrest of the perpetrators, Grace Efe Uwade, who is now in police custody in the main city. The Commissioner for Women Affairs said the action followed a complaint by Monday Apaduma, who reported irregularities in an adoption process.
The police got to the Afuze. The said social worker took off. So we believe that he fled due to information that was made available to him. And then when we got there, we saw the old woman about 70 years, well-cladded, wearing Hollandis wrapper with some nice top. And she had 4 sophisticated children shouldn't be put in. And then we saw a child on the floor. We thought the child was dead, but the child was not. We thought the child was paralyzed. They brought the children, about 5 of them, with a baby that is 2 weeks. And this child that we saw on the floor that we thought was paralyzed wasn't paralyzed. We found out that the child was malnourished, and that lying on the floor was because the child has stayed without food for a long time, starvation. They brought all of them to Benin City. Getting to Benin City yesterday evening, about 6 p.m., we interrogated the woman. But the woman, she was so nonchalant until the applicant, as soon as the officers brought the woman, the old woman, and the children from Afuze to Benin City, and the applicant now further told us that the old woman told him that if he really wants a child, he must pay 1 million. And then he said he agreed on the 1 million, only for him to go back there day before yesterday to ask for the baby that they said they were going to give to him. The woman now told him, the old woman, the 70-year-old woman now told him that the commissioner said if he does not pay 2 million naira, he will not get the baby. That was what infuriated him. The commissioner said 1 million naira for the baby, for the 2-week-old baby, why will I not come back today and you're telling me the commissioner said 2 million? He said the old woman told the applicant that she just finished talking with me on the phone. And I said, if he's not ready to pay the 2 million, they should give to the next applicant on the list. So that was what got the guy angry, the applicant angry, and came to Benin City. If he didn't, I wouldn't have known that there had been racketeering in the rural areas.
She added that the children have been evacuated to a safe location, with some receiving medical care, while investigations continue, urging the public to always verify adoption processes through the ministry. Bodancheni, VOP.
Thank you. Well, on the foreign scene, security concerns are mounting in Washington today after a gunman attempted to storm a high-profile gala attended by President Donald Trump. Investigators revealed the suspect, who was armed with multiple weapons, specifically planned to target several top-ranking government officials during the event. The president was quickly rushed to safety by Secret Service agents after gunfire erupted near a security checkpoint in the hotel ballroom. While the suspect is currently in custody and refusing to cooperate, officials have traced his recent travel from Los Angeles to the Capitol. Chaos broke out among the hundreds of glitzy guests as agents swarmed the building to neutralize the threat and secure the perimeter. One officer was fortunately saved by his safety vest after being shot at close range during the initial exchange of fire. The suspect is suspected to make his first appearance in federal court tomorrow morning to face formal charges for the attack. Meanwhile, the White House has confirmed that the president is unharmed and already calling for a review of the venue's security protocols. But still on the foreign scene, world leaders have reacted with shock and strong condemnation after a shooting incident disrupted a high-profile media gala in Washington, attended by U.S. President Donald Trump. Many say the attack is an assault on democracy and press freedom. Leaders, including Britain's Keir Starmer and India's Narendra Modi, expressed relief that the president, first lady, and other guests escaped unharmed. They also stressed that violence has no place in democratic societies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other global figures praised the swift response of U.S. security agencies in containing the situation. Several leaders also sent wishes for a quick recovery to those affected, including a wounded police officer. From Canada to Spain and Mexico, Officials echoed similar sentiments, calling for unity against political violence. The suspect is currently in custody and is expected to face federal charges in court on Monday. Well, Mali is now in shock after its defense minister Sadio Kamara was killed in a car bomb attack at his residence in Kati, near the capital, Bamako. Reports say his wife and 2 grandchildren also died in the blast. The attack is part of a wider wave of coordinated violence blamed on jihadist groups and separatist rebels. Fighting has been reported in several locations, including key northern towns. Security forces say the situation remains tense, but are trying to regain control across affected areas. Residents in Bamako and surrounding districts say they are gripped by fear following the explosions and gunfire. International reactions have begun to come in, with calls for urgent support to stabilize the Sahel region. Authorities say investigations are ongoing as the military continues operations against armed groups. Business news now. The Lagos State government has signed power purchase agreements with 3 electricity generation companies. The move is aimed at improving electricity supply across the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu witnessed the signing ceremony at Lagos House, Marina. He urged all parties to remain committed and ensure the agreements deliver real benefits to residents. The Commissioner for Energy says the 3 companies currently generate about 60 megawatts combined. He added that output is expected to rise significantly within the next 2 or 3 years. According to the state government, the target is to scale generation to much more megawatts. Well, still business news, NNPC Limited says it recorded strong gains in crude oil production and gas infrastructure development between April 2025 and April 2020, efficiency and boosting energy supply. Crude oil output rose to 1.71 million barrels per day, the highest level recorded in 5 years. Its upstream operations also peaked at 365,000 barrels per day in December 2025. The company also made progress on major gas projects, including the completion of key sections of the Ajakuta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline. It says this includes major infrastructure crossings and final welding works completed during the period. NNPC added that the gas supply reached 7.5 billion standard cubic feet per day by the end of 2025. It says ongoing reforms, including new investment models and commercial partnerships, are central to its long-term energy strategy. Well, in sports news, Chelsea are through to the FA Cup final after a narrow but crucial 1-0 victory over Leeds United at Wembley. Enzo Fernandez was the match winner, heading home the only goal in the first half. The goal came in the 23rd minute after a well-placed cross from Pedro Neto. Leeds did threaten early on, but Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez produced a key save to keep them ahead. Both sides had chances, with João Pedro hitting the post and Chelsea pushed for a second goal. Leeds also pressed for an equalizer but struggled to convert the opportunities. The win books Chelsea a place in the final against Manchester City on May 16. It also continues Leeds' long wait for a return to the FA Cup final since 1973. Still sports, history has been made in American football as Nigeria's Wop Bernard becomes the first African pathway player to be drafted into the NFL. He was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 7th round of the 2026 NFL Draft. The 21-year-old, originally from Abuja, was picked 251st overall after a remarkable rise through the NFL International Player Pathway Program. Bernard's journey is unusual as he only transitioned into American football recently after starting out as a basketball player. He says his breakthrough came after attending training camps in Nigeria and Egypt before moving to an intensive program in the United States. Coaches describe him as an exceptional athlete with rare physical strength and explosive ability for his position. Bernard is expected to begin rookie training with the Eagles ahead of the new season, where the club says it will take time to develop his raw talent. The historic selection marks another milestone for African representation in the National Football League. And now, entertainment news. Nollywood star Funke Akindele is pushing back against claims that she snubbed Fuji legend Wasiu Pasuma at a recent public event. The allegation started from a viral clip circulating online. In the video, she was seen greeting actress Fasia Balogun while Pasuma sat nearby, which sparked online criticism. But Akindele says the footage was misleading and did not show the full interaction. According to her, she actually greeted and danced with Pasuma at the event. She described him as a respected senior colleague and dismissed the story as false. She has since urged fans to ignore what she calls negative narratives on social media. The actress insists the full video tells a different story. A debate has emerged between gospel singer Testimony Jaga and former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo over the idea of prosperity gospel. The exchange has sparked fresh discussion around faith, poverty, and preaching in Nigeria. Osinbajo had argued that there is no separate doctrine known as prosperity gospel. He maintains that the Christian message is the one unified gospel of Jesus Christ. But reacting in a video, Testimony Jaga disagreed with that position. He insisted that while the gospel is one, the realities of poverty cannot be ignored in the message to believers. He also challenged Osinbajo to show evidence of impact from his public service and ministry work. Jaga maintained that the gospel should remain a message of hope and upliftment for struggling citizens. And that wraps it up for us on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that INEC has confirmed the Gabam-led SDP executive after court decision. Also, Lagos Deputy Governor meets Gbajabiamila for 2027 governorship bid. Atiku raises alarm over alleged move to limit northern voters' participation. And Serap, as well as the Nigeria Guild of Editors, challenge NBC broadcasting code in court. Lagos moves to clear waste and prevent flooding. Unfortunately, 69 killed on Lagos roads in 3 months. On the foreign scene, we told you that investigators have revealed...
Suspect 95, là on est sur Vop TV, on passe un bon temps. J'espère que vous kiffez, on est au Afrima, on est ensemble, Vop TV.
Don't see me like a fool because I don't do giddy giddy giddy. VOP, you don't know somewhere from Ghana representing live and living color. Yeah, Bim Nation President, outside with it. Bless up.
Hello, this is Milo from Ivory Coast. Keep watch Voice of the People TV. Regardez la voix du peuple, la télévision de la voix du peuple. Que Dieu vous bénisse. À très bientôt. Love you so much.
Hi guys, what's up? This is I tell you to touch the dial and increase the volume. Like, keep it locked. It's Afro Gospel. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shego Aronzo. You're watching VOP. Don't change the dial.
My Joe, fine girl. My Joe, fine babe. Yes, don't touch the dial. This is me, Dr.
Giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
Alright, hello, it's a boy that's shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you are watching. Thank you.
Hi people, Junior Albano here. Guys, please.
Intro. VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Hello, my name is Inejo. Keep watching VOP TV.
What up? My name is Usumachiku. You are watching VOP TV. Keep it locked.
Hello, I am Floyd Igbo. Keep watching VOP TV.
Hi everyone,
hope you're doing good. Keep watching VOP TV and, just have an amazing day. Thank you.
Hi guys, it's your boy Praise. Keep watching VOP TV.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something 264. From breaking news to captivate, in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV, channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
It's your girl Arika of the Dimples, aka Risky Baby, and you are
now on VOP TV. Keep it locked, don't go nowhere. Let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Jagade. You are watching VOP TV and don't change the dial, because I said so.
Who's happy to post them and who's happy the most? Because when shit goes south, y'all be happy to ghost. When you make a wrong move, they be happy to roast. But be careful.
To VOP. Here's a shout out to VOP TV. It's your girl April Oshidikwe at the Heavy premiere. You know what it is.
Hi everyone. Nigeria is the best country in the world and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, my name is Tomo Watsebe. I'm an actor and you guys are live on VOP TV. Keep it locked because I said so.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your girl Phil Storm.